Today we're going to go over financial literacy, which is simple and compound interest. It also is estimating college cost. All right, what is the simple interest formula? If you have your star chart, what is the simple interest formula? I equals PRT. Write it down. What does this formula solve for?
Interest.
It solves for the interest. How would you get the total? We write it down every day on our star chart. We add. All right, what is the compound interest formula? The one with the parentheses, okay? So let's write it down. A equals P, open parentheses, 1 plus R, close parentheses, with an exponent of T. I should see everybody writing this down. I'll make it bigger for y'all. All right, what does the compound interest formula solve for? Total amount. How would you solve for the interest? Subtract. We write this down every single day on our star chart. All right, let's go do some examples. The first example says, Rebecca invests $5,200 at 4.2% interest compounded annually. What is the clue word that you saw in this problem? Compounded interest. So what formula, before I read anything else, what formula am I going to write? The one with the parentheses. A equals P, open parentheses, 1 plus R to the T power. So write that formula down. A equals, I should see everybody writing. P, open parentheses, 1 plus R to the T power. Now let's read the question and see if this formula will give us the answer. It says, what will the account balance be at the end of 5 years? What is account balance? Is that a total or is that interest? If I say, what is the balance in your account? What am I asking for? How much you have in there? Total. Does this formula solve for total amount? Yes, so all I'm going to do is this formula. What does P mean? Principal, starting amount. How much money is she starting with? 5,200. Write it down. Open parentheses. 1 plus. What is the rate that she's getting? What do I have to change that to? Is it already a decimal? If it has a percent sign, you have to put it over 100. So let's go see what that is. 4.2 over 100 is 0.042. And how much time is she going to invest this money for? 5 years. So your little exponent is a 5. So get your calculator out and type that in. Now we're making this look like money, so we'll be rounding to the hundredths place value. So how much money does she have? $6,387.66. That is the answer. I don't have to do anything else. Okay, let's look at the next question. All right. Chad invests $6,000 at 5.8% interest compounded annually. What clue word did you just see? Compounded. So before I read anything else, I'm going to go write the formula down for compound interest. It's the exact same one we just did. Write it down. A equals P, open parentheses, 1 plus R, close parentheses to the T power. Now let's read the question. How much interest will she earn? Does this formula solve for interest? Let's go to our star chart and see what we write down every day. Compound interest solves for? Does this formula solve for interest? No. So I'm going to use the formula, and then to get the interest, I'm going to subtract. It's what we write every day. But first, I have to use the formula. So here we go. What is the P, the principal, the starting amount? 6,000. Open parentheses, 1 plus. What is the rate? 5.8%. But what do I have to change it to? How do I change it to a decimal? But it's already a decimal. What would you say to that? It's not, because it has a percent sign. I have to put it over 100. So 5.8 over 100 is 0.058. Raised to the how many years are they going to invest this? 4. This is not going to give me the final answer. So I do 6,000. Everybody should be putting this in their calculator. Open parentheses, 1 plus 0.058, close the parentheses, raised to the 4th power. I am going to write it down, and I am going to round to the hundredths place. So at the end of 4 years, this person will have $7,517.85 in their account. That's their account balance. But it didn't ask for the balance. It asked how much. So what am I going to do? So I take my answer and I subtract what they started with. So I just put minus 6,000, and that's how much interest they made. $1,517.85. Okay, 2 more examples. The next example says a student invests $2,600 at 4.2 simple interest. What clue word did you just see? Simple interest. So what formula am I going to write down? I equals PRT. Before I do anything, I'm going to read the question and see if this formula will answer the question. It says, how much interest will the student make? What does this formula solve for? I don't hear y'all. Interest. So will this give me the answer? Yes, it will, because it says how much interest, and it solves for interest. So here we go. P, what is the starting amount? 2,600 times, what is the rate? But we have to change it to a, so 4.2 over 100 is 0.042 times how many years? 3. So I just put it in my calculator. And that is the answer, but I need it to look like money, so what would I put with this 6?
0.
A 0, so it's $327.60. Okay, last example. LaSara invests $3,200 at 3.25% simple interest. What clue word did you just see? Simple interest. So what formula am I going to write? I equals PRT. What does this formula solve for? Interest. Let's read the question. How much money will she have in her account? Is the question asking for interest, or is it asking for how much money total she's going to have in her account? Total. So does this formula give me that answer? No. So let's go to our star chart. Simple interest solves for interest. If we need the total, we're going to have to add. So I'm going to have to take it a step further. So here we go. What's the P, the starting amount? 3,200 times the R, but I need to change it to a, so 3.25 over 100 is 0.0325 times how many years? 4. And I go put it in my calculator. This is not going to give me the final answer. So she's going to make $416 in interest. But it asks for her account balance. So what am I going to do? Add $3,200 back in. And that is $3,616. Now, if it asks you to compare them, are y'all listening? Like, let's say it wanted you to compare 2 different banks. You're going to have to set up 2 different problems, and then you'll find the difference at the end and just compare them and see which one's the better deal or whatever. Okay, your assignment is on paper, so you don't need your Chromebook until you are ready to submit your answers. Please make sure you get yesterday's answers submitted and you take care of today's assignment. Questions? All right, I'll get that passed out.